Hey there, I'm Casey and this is Jenny, and we're two of Festival's Mealtime Mentors. Today we're working with Verlasso to show how easy it is to swap salmon into your favorite recipes.
That's right, Casey. Today we're making a salmon fettuccine Alfredo.
This is a really good recipe. I love fettuccine Alfredo, but usually I feel like you see it with like chicken or shrimp. So I really like this spin where we're adding salmon because those flavors really do go well together.
Yes, like the richness and the butteriness of this salmon is perfect in this Alfredo.
It really is.
So let's get started with the salmon. We just have the fillets here on a baking sheet, and I'm simply going to season it with a little bit of salt and pepper. So not a whole lot going on here because we really want the flavor of the salmon to shine through.
Yes, the salmon is super flavorful on its own. It's got those omega-3 fatty acids that are very rich and flavorful.
All right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get this into the oven.
Yes, so we're gonna bake our salmon at 450 for about 10 to 12 minutes, or really until that fish is nice and opaque and you can flake it easily with a fork. And the temperature that we're going for is 145 degrees. If you're not sure, we actually do have seafood timers in thermometers in our meat department that are really simple to use and help you know when the fish is done.
All right, so while the salmon is baking, we're going to go ahead and get working on our pasta and the sauce. So right now we have some pasta just boiling in the pot.
So we're working on that. So for our sauce over here then, we're starting with some melted butter in our saucepan. So now I'm going to add some garlic. And I love hearing that
sizzle.
Yes. So I'm just going to mix that around and let that cook a little bit until it becomes nice and fragrant. One of the things I like about this recipe is that we're making our own Alfredo sauce.
Yes.
We can control what goes in it, first of all, which is kind of fun, but it's also just fun to, make your own stuff.
Right. And it's surprisingly easy to do, too.
It really is.
It sounds really complicated, but there are just a few ingredients involved.
Yeah, yep. All right, so that I can smell that garlic already. So now I'm going to add a little bit of flour, a little bit of salt, and some pepper. And again, these are things that can kind of always be adjusted to those seasonings since we're making our own. So I'm going to mix that around a little bit to make a nice little roux here, which will thicken up nicely when we're making our sauce. So then I will add our milk. And I'm going to give that a stir, and we're going to let this come to a boil and then cook for about 2 minutes or until it gets nice and thick.
All right, so our salmon is baked and it looks great. I'm just gonna go ahead and start flaking it so we can get it into the sauce.
Awesome, so our sauce over here is nice and thickened. So now I'm going to add our Parmesan cheese and give that a stir for the finishing touch, of course. You can't have Alfredo sauce without cheese. So now I'm going to add the rest of our ingredients. So we've got our fettuccine pasta that we cooked.
And we're using just regular fettuccine today, but you could certainly use like a veggie noodle would be really fun in this.
That would be very good.
A whole wheat.
I'm gonna throw our spinach in. It looks like a lot, but as we all know, spinach cooks down to nothing basically. So I'm gonna give this a toss together. And the spinach is something that you could substitute as well. I think broccoli would be really good.
Oh, yum.
The Alfredo sauce. You could do zucchini if you're not already doing the zoodles or zucchini noodles. Look at that. The spinach is already starting to cook down, which is great. Get that sauce nice and incorporated. This is another really great idea for like an easy weeknight meal.
Oh, for sure.
Again, salmon is not something to be afraid of. It's so easy to make and really goes well with lots of classic dishes that you might not think of for salmon.
And I did break the salmon into larger chunks, so you can certainly serve it as a whole fillet if you would like.
Oh, sure.
But
put on
it's
top.
fun to have it kind of mixed in with all of the sauce and the pasta. Get a little bit in every bite.
That's for sure. All right, so this spinach is slightly wilted, which I think is a great stopping point. So I'm gonna turn the heat off and we can add our salmon in and get this in. Oh my gosh.
This salmon is so buttery. We didn't add any oil to this pan.
Yeah.
But it's just really rich and so full of flavor.
Yeah, on its own. Just salt and pepper, that's it. Okay, so I'm just gonna give this a toss to get that salmon nice and mixed throughout.
Yum.
Look at this. I love all the different colors going on too. Very pretty. And I am also a big fan of the entire meal in one dish. Just makes things a lot simpler.
And we are serving the Alfredo today with some lemon wedges. It just gives this dish, which is super rich, like a bright punch of flavor.
Yes, it does. I really love that lemon on top.
Oh, I'll probably use a fork, huh?
I guess so. We're on camera. Get some of that salmon.
So rich, so delicious.
Yes, and perfect with the salmon.
Yes.
We'll find this recipe and lots more salmon recipes at bestfoods.com/meals.